Good morning, everyone. Happy November. I can't believe it's the middle of November already. I just thought I would take a walk around my yard and kind of show you what's going on in the month of November. Things are starting to fall asleep. Certain plants are dying back. I would say it's kind of a happy time because you get to rest, right? You're resting from the hustle and bustle of the summer months and fall planting. But it's also kind of a melancholy time, I think, too, because, things are fading away and going away, and it'll be some time before we see those bright spring and summer colors again. Anyways, it is Thursday, November 16th. It's a beautiful day today. We have had beautiful fall weather. We really have. We have had several nights of frost, but we have also had beautiful, warm fall days well into October and November. This week there's several days that, get right up into 60 degrees. And that has made the fall season just really enjoyable. Let's see what I'd like to show you in my garden. As you can see, we have been very busy pruning. We've cut down our daylilies, we've cut down our catmint, our Junior Walker catmints. The Golden Globe Arborvitae will stay, and I love that it provides such good winter interest. Looks like my husband gave it a little bit of a haircut. I can see off the top here, which is fine. I really do love these. They're a no fuss shrub. Evergreen shrub. My fairy tale pumpkins, my Cinderella pumpkins, have held up pretty well. It's been a nice fall accent. So sweet. And I have to give credit to my husband who did a lot of the pruning in the front yard here. He attacked these emerald gaiety euonymus. If you remember, these are the euonymus in my front yard. They have a very highly trailing habit, and if you can see down here, they reach right in between the stones, which I guess isn't a good thing because it looks like this stone really needs to be moved closer together, but they trail up the spruce here, and they can trail up into our window box. You can see our window box is cleared out. We left the fireworks grass in the center just for an autumn accent because it still kind of looks cute and nice. And actually, my husband pulled out the pansies, which he probably could have left those, but I was away for the weekend with my sister, and I think he got to work on some things. I had English ivy in here and pansies, which they were looking quite nice, but we will forgive, right? We will forgive. And here we have our Magic Carpet Spirea that's been nicely pruned down. I always like to give those a good haircut every fall because they flush out and bloom out so beautifully. I really think they benefit from the fall pruning. And behind that are yews. We took off a little bit of the top there, and those have been growing together really nicely and have formed a really beautiful hedge. So those are all ready to go. And our dwarf ornamental pear tree, didn't have to do anything to that, but it's shaded with a beautiful fall color. It looks like it has some bronze tones in it, and you can see the ornamental pears. Let me come around back here. You can see the yellows and the greens, and there's shades of bronze in there, a little bit of red in the front, and I think I spy a bird's nest, which always excites me. Let's see if I can get it on camera here. I'll zoom in. See that right there? That's a bird's nest. So beautiful. And our sea green juniper has been shaped a little bit, and our hostas have all been pruned down to the ground. I've learned that it is a good thing to prune hostas down to the ground because once the frost hits them, they get really slimy and gross. And it's just kind of nice to start fresh, you know, in the spring season. And they come up so beautifully in the spring after you cut them down this far to the ground. So we always like to do that. On my front porch here, I still have my favorite pot from the summer that has just remained my favorite, and I'm going to be doing something with it soon, but I just thought I'd get this one last shot in. You can see it has been touched. Oh boy. Hello, Lucy. Hello. Yeah, you're gonna not let me do this, are you? Oh my goodness. Can you wait a minute? Wait 1 minute. Okay, this was my favorite combination, the Empress Wu Hosta, which has shot out one single bloom. Lou, wait. And has changed with the seasons. And I had it combined with the Creeping Jenny and the Dichondra Silver Falls. Some of the Creeping Jenny has gotten crispy, and also the Dichondra Falls. Some of it has gotten crispy and died back, but most of it has been touched by the November season and the fall season just beautifully. You can see. That's just so beautiful. So I'll be getting rid of the Creeping Jenny and the Dichondra Silver Falls because they don't come back in my area. But the Empress Wu Hosta I will be keeping, of course, because it's a beautiful perennial hosta. And we'll see where we put it next year. I'm just going to walk across the driveway here to the south side and look at my south side bed. Let me just take a little span of this bed here first. My geranium Roseanne. You can see it's still trying to put out some good green growth here, but it's, you know, I've got to clip this back here, which I will do. The geranium Roseanne really does wonderfully here. I feel like it starts blooming and it really doesn't stop. Even with the frost that has come, it's still trying to push forth new leaves, new foliage, and trying to put forth some new blooms, but it's been harder now that the weather has turned. And this is where I have my ornamental grasses, my Wine and Roses Weigela, which I think I've mentioned before. I'm not going to be pruning that this year. And my kind of hodgepodge mix of grasses here. We have the morning light miscanthus. We have Shenandoah grass. Beautiful, beautiful fall color. I love this grass. I love the shade of that the grass turns as the fall weather, progresses, and then the plumes on top are beautiful. They dance, looks like they dance in the wind. And then we also have some more morning light miscanthus and my little invasive grass here that has been getting kind of spreading everywhere. You can see a little bit over here, a little over here. My morning light miscanthus, the reeds or the plumes. This just really screams fall to me, and I love, even when you're driving in your car and you see a field or a grouping of them and you see them swaying in the wind and the plumes and the reeds swaying in the wind. So, so beautiful. Here's another geranium roseanne. It's kind of cool how it just says, no, I'm going to flush out once again. And it flushes out, and then it just kind of pushes the dead stuff off to the bottom here. I can easily probably pull this out. It comes right out. This is like one of the last beds we have to clean up, so I will be doing that. Little pine cones scattered about. My Colorado blue spruce, ready for the winter. I can't believe how tall these trees have gotten. I'm so glad I put a couple of evergreen trees in the front yard. Whenever I turn onto my street, it just makes me very happy that I have that winter interest to pull into my driveway and admire them. It's just, it brings joy during the winter months. Just walking towards the south side of my house, heading into the backyard. This is what this bed is looking like currently. My ornamental kale cabbage is looking so cute and sweet and providing that little pop of color that can make you happy when all of the other color is going away. When you put something in the ground like this, that can last in through November, and it can just bring a smile to your face. We pruned up the blue cushion English lavender. We just gave it a little trim off the top. Some black-eyed Susan in there that I planted in September. That looks like it's gonna do okay. And also have some more echinacea that I planted in September, a couple more pink kale cabbage. We trimmed up these Emerald Gaiety euonymus, the 4 that are here. The Dipladenia I still have in the ground, but they got zapped by the frost, and I'll pull those out in the next week or so. And I also have some echinacea in that back corner. and my clematis General Sikorsky and clematis Haldane that I have on these 2 trellis that I'll be clipping those back. I really also would like to add some compost to this garden bed. If I don't get to it in the next couple of weeks in the fall, I will definitely do it in the springtime. I think I mentioned before that I struggle in this bed, and I honestly feel like I have a memory of that I was planting out these clematis, and I think I did remove some of the clay, not knowing that was not a good thing to do. I think I did remove some of the clay when I was planting the clematis, and I have always struggled with clematis, and I remember, digging them up once thinking, oh my gosh, it's like a water bath in there. And, as I've learned more about gardening and, just learned that the native soil is an important component of when you're planting, I won't make that mistake again. And it's nothing that you can't fix with a little bit of compost and a little bit of TLC to your garden beds and a little bit of education. So I will be amending the soil and hopefully having better luck with these clematis. They did bloom okay. They never get super lush though. And it almost looks like one of them has like died out completely, but I do cut them back and they do come back every year. We'll keep trying. Okay, let's go into the backyard. The season of fall has touched just about everything with the change in color and the leaves on the ground. My snow fountain weeping cherry, every leaf has changed to like a orange, yellow, reddish tone. And you can see it's dropped its leaves. I really enjoy this tree. It has a very wide canopy too. If you look here, it needs frequent haircuts in the summer. We did trim up our yews back there. We've got 3 back there. They've all gotten a haircut, as the golden flame spirea, or the gold flame spirea, also has had a haircut. My little lime, looking anything but little. I find that these little lime hydrangeas do get quite large. I'm planning to prune that. All of my hydrangeas that you see, we typically do prune those in the springtime. However, I was not able to prune any of my hydrangeas last spring. It was just a busy time. And so all of the hydrangeas in my yard this year are going to be pruned down pretty good. As you can see, this is my limelight hydrangea. And we totally gave that a complete prune. And we'll be doing that to the little limes and also the other limelights in the yard. We like to do our pruning in the fall. We have, just like everyone, very busy lives, and I have 3 boys, and as my boys move through school and through sports, I have 2 of my older boys who played travel baseball, and they played baseball for their schools, and my other son who played volleyball. Our spring times kind of became insane for a while, so we just found that getting all the cleanup done in the fall season was better for us. So I also trimmed up on the corner here this limelight hydrangea as well. My older son, he's gone off to college now, so We are minus one of those schedules with sports, but we still like to do the fall pruning. It's kind of nice too in the springtime when you're excited about planting, you're excited about seeing things come up. It feels really nice that, you know, everything has been tended to and given a haircut, and you can just kind of sit back and watch everything bloom. So yes, these are the golden Vicari privets. And if you recall, they were humongous. They get so big every year, and we did give them a good trim. I'm still hoping to kind of move this limelight over a foot or two. Because if you can see, I just feel like it's going to eventually really lean into that Vicari privet. So would love to just move that over a foot or two. That bird just keeps on talking. This is my neon flash spirea, which really is mainly green in the spring and summer months with a neon pink bloom. And you can see it's really changed into a yellow, lighter green tone for the fall. Some echinacea there. And again, that is our fireworks grass that we just leave up through November. I'm hosting Thanksgiving this year, so just want to leave up what we can to add to the fall feeling. I planted out my wildberry heuchera right here on this corner here, which that was a favorite of mine this past summer season. It's a beautiful, beautiful plant, and I would definitely recommend it. It's got a nice, strong, hardy leaf that maintains its color definitely through the summer and fall season. We'll see what it looks like in the springtime because I planted it this summer, and gives out wonderful plumes in the summer months that just look like little twinkle lights above it. I really enjoyed that plant, and I have some more coneflower there. My bloom-struck hydrangeas are definitely going to sleep with all their spent blooms. My little garden path that leads to my shed back there, and my green giant arborvitaes. I think they're looking fantastic. I did look up, and they are browning a bit in the center. That's totally normal for this time of year. I've been really pleased with these arborvitaes. They look very healthy. I think they're all getting adequate sun. I believe they're all getting relatively the same amount of sun. This one on the end, we'll have to see how that looks, being so close to the shed and the back, sort of being tucked in the back corner here, but so far so good. I planted out my hydrangea in a pot, the one I had on my back patio. Planted it out right here, so we'll see how it fares come spring and summer next season. Look at the red twig ivory halo dogwood. It's dropped all of its leaves, but look at the winter interest that it's left behind for me. That's so fantastic. That's definitely Christmas winter interest, that bright red color. My mums have finally, said goodbye. I've still left them here. I might leave them here through Thanksgiving. And I'm guilty of, I haven't been watering them. I was away for the weekend with my sister, and even before that, I almost find like once you get a couple of cold days, I kind of fall off the watering the mums bandwagon, and I can see that, the mums, they're ready to say goodbye soon. So the Crimson Cutie Barberry, that's a beautiful color. That's a beautiful fall color. They're more maroon colored in the summertime, but they've really lightened and brightened in November here. My Vanderwolf pine, I believe, is doing well. The yellowing that you see, it's called casting, from what I've read, and it's a sign of health of your tree. It's just going through the change, its normal typical change with the weather changes and the season changes. It's dropping its needles. If you had your yellow needles all the way to the tip of the tree, which it doesn't, these are nice and green, if you can see nice and green on the tip, just as long as this yellowing is not out to the tip, it's okay. But you can see, you can just pull them out. It's called casting. It's kind of fascinating. We trimmed up our Carex Feather Falls grass. Our ornamental grasses and our hardy hibiscus. This one I planted here recently is called Perfect Storm, and I passed right by it, but I'll pan right back over. In between the Crimson Cutie Barberries, I also planted a very awesome hibiscus, so that will be super exciting to see how they come up. Can show you another bird's nest way up there in my pear tree. Those are just my original hydrangeas. Another red twig ivory halo dogwood. Beautiful. Just beautiful. Autumn joyceum. Cut right down. Our birch trees. Durahete River Birch, and right behind it is the Heritage Clump that we recently pruned both of those trees. If you haven't seen that video, we've just we pruned all 4 of our birch trees about a month ago. I did plant out my heartleaf Brunnera, Jack Frost heartleaf Brunnera. I planted that out right in front of the forsythias. I could really come over and clip that down. And the northern gold forsythias have dropped all their leaves. There's another Brunnera, the beautiful birch tree. And that's about it. Another limelight that I completely pruned. And all the daylilies have been cut back, and the hosta in this bed. The spirea and the yew and the euonymus, the hostas and the daylilies. They're all ready to go to bed for the winter. And my candy mint crabapple. That's kind of tilted a little, and it was a perfectly straight tree, and then we had a big time snowstorm last December, and oh my goodness, the snow that fell in this little area of landscape was amazing. I think it had gone up to, like, if you can see the window behind that tree, almost covered the entire window, and it just buried this tree. And ever since then it's been tilted a little. That's okay though, it still looks beautiful. I still love it. And the last thing I just wanted to mention, and I'm sure if you were a gardener you may already be aware of this, but the USDA has put out a new hardiness growing map, and it seems as though everything is shifting slightly. So I was gardening in a zone 6A in Western New York, and now I looked up my zip code and I am considered a 6B. So the difference really for me in my growing zone is basically they're saying that the lowest minimum temperature that most likely is occurring during the coldest time of the year in winter is -5 degrees Fahrenheit, where before my zone was like down to -10 degrees Fahrenheit. So within the group 6 zone, there's a 6A and a 6B, and the difference between the A and the B category is 5 degrees Fahrenheit. Each zone is differentiated by 10 degrees Fahrenheit. So I am now considered a zone 6B. So you might want to check, if you are a gardener, you might want to check that and see if your zone has been affected. I can't help but think of, there's this YouTube channel that I love to watch, and there's these 2 guys who garden in upstate New York, and I'm sure a lot of you are familiar with them. They're called Grow For Me 5B, and I love their channel. They have great information, and they're just fun to listen to. They have a fun banter back and forth, and the name of their channel is Grow For Me 5B. So I don't know why, but I automatically thought of them, and I thought, okay, if they are changed to like a 6A or a 5A, I was just thinking to myself, that would totally ruin the name of their channel. So Grow For Me 5B, I hope you weren't affected. We'll have to see. Anyways, thanks so much for tuning in today. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.